Imagine if you could press a button and quietly begin reversing your own aging process, not through medicine or miracle, but through movement. Across Japan, more than 90,000 people live past 100. They walk unaided, tend their gardens, rise with the dawn. Doctors measure their blood, study their diets, and still the question lingers. How do they live this long? And this well? The answer does not lie in laboratories or hidden clinics. It lives in their daily ritual, a series of 6 simple movements performed with awareness, intention, rhythm, movements that take minutes yet shape decades. What makes this even more mysterious is that these 6 exercises did not begin in Japan. Their roots reach back to a civilization that looked to the stars for guidance. Ancient Egypt, among its many deities, one figure stood apart: Thoth, the god of wisdom, writing, time. To the Egyptians, he was not only a symbol, he was the architect of order, the keeper of rhythm, the recorder of truth. Legend says his teachings were carved into the emerald tablets, slabs of green stone that vibrated with knowledge. What they contained was not myth in the sense of fantasy. It was myth in the sense of function, a manual for tuning the body and mind to the rhythm of the universe. Thoth's message was simple. Aging is not decay, it is disharmony. When the body loses its rhythm with the greater order of nature, it begins to weaken. When it moves in tune again, it repairs. His exercises, disguised in symbols and metaphors, were not meant for priests alone. They were meant for anyone willing to move with awareness. Thousands of years later, these same principles reappeared on the islands of Japan. There, among temples and rice fields, a culture of movement grew quietly. It was never called the teaching of Thoth, but its essence was the same: harmony through rhythm, balance through breath, awareness through motion. The Egyptians called it Mat, the universal balance of truth and order. The Japanese call it Wa, the harmony between self, nature, and community. 2 words, 1 law. Science in its modern language has begun to rediscover what both civilizations already knew: neuroplasticity, epigenetics, bioelectric flow. The body listens to thought, the cells respond to movement. When movement becomes intentional, the chemistry of life begins to change. What Thoth described as vibration and frequency, science now measures as electrical current. The heart and brain communicate through pulses of energy. Every contraction of muscle sends signals through the nervous system. Each signal shapes how the brain organizes itself. Every breath shifts the chemistry of the body toward stress or toward repair. The 6 movements attributed to Thoth are methods for teaching the body to return to coherence. They are not mystical. They are measurable. They regulate hormones, balance the nervous system, preserve mobility. When practiced daily, they act as a dialogue between consciousness and flesh, a conversation that tells biology to stay young. Here, Japan becomes the bridge. Long after the temples of Egypt fell silent, the art of movement survived in forms the modern world could understand: gentle stretches at sunrise, postures close to the earth, the subtle discipline of balance and stillness, while the West chased strength through strain, the East preserved grace through flow, and in that grace the ancient code endured. The story begins with the simplest act: standing on one leg. It seems too small to matter. Yet hidden within that stillness is a profound test of life itself. Doctors at Fukuoka University conducted a study that changed how aging was seen. They asked thousands of people to balance on one leg for 60 seconds. Those who could do it easily had lower mortality rates, stronger bones, sharper minds. Balance, it turned out, was a mirror of the brain. To balance, the body must read signals from eyes, ears, skin, every joint. It must integrate those signals through the cerebellum and cortex, making tiny corrections in milliseconds. This web of communication keeps us upright. It also keeps us young. When we stop challenging it, the connections fade. The mind ages before the body. The Japanese centenarians practiced this movement every day, often without naming it. Thoth called it the sage's balance, the act of stillness within motion. It is the physical embodiment of his law. To find one's center is to find stability in the universe. Holding this posture for 1 minute on each leg trains the brain to form new pathways. It strengthens awareness. It renews itself. Imaging studies show that those who train balance have greater volumes of gray matter, the tissue that declines with age. This 1-minute ritual each day is oil for the nervous system. It keeps the machinery of coordination alive. It teaches the body the language of equilibrium. The Egyptians called this tuning the instrument. When the body hums in resonance, energy flows freely. When it vibrates in confusion, disease takes hold. The Japanese call it ayaku, stillness within motion. In that stillness, the system remembers what it was designed to do. Balance is only the beginning. The second secret hides in a movement so ordinary that most have forgotten it. The act of sitting and standing from the floor. In a world ruled by chairs, this has become rare. Yet the transition between earth and standing is a blueprint of vitality. Researchers at the University of Tsukuba tested more than 10,000 adults on this ability. Those who could sit and stand from the floor without using their hands or knees had lower risks of death in the following years. Each extra point of support, a hand on the floor, a knee bent, increased the risk of mortality. This is not about strength. It is about integration. To move smoothly from floor to standing requires the body to communicate as one. Hips, knees, spine, brain, each must know the other. Practicing this daily restores that unity. In Thoth's language, this movement was the serpent rising through the spine, the awakening of energy through flexibility. The spine was the Jed pillar, the tree of life connecting earth and sky. When it stiffens, energy stagnates. When it bends, the current flows. Each time you lower yourself and rise again, you rehearse independence. You train the muscles that prevent falls. You maintain the reflexes that preserve freedom. You quietly rewrite the body's memory of youth. In these two acts, the sage's balance, the floor transition, we begin to glimpse the foundation of Thoth's forgotten science. Movement as language, stillness as medicine, awareness as the thread that ties them together. Modern life with its chairs and screens has lulled the body into forgetfulness. Yet beneath that stillness, the code remains waiting, a code that connects ancient Egypt to modern Japan, mysticism to biology. Past to present. As the morning sun rises over the roofs of Japanese towns, a soft melody plays on the radio. Doors open. Elders and children step outside. Together they move through a gentle dance, fluid, rhythmic, graceful. This too is part of the secret. Understand this. The body is not a machine that wears out with time. It is an instrument that detunes when forgotten. The 6 rituals of Thoth kept alive through centuries are not promises of immortality. They are reminders. Balance, flexibility, breath. They are not luxuries. They are the natural state of being alive. There is an invisible thread that connects all wisdom across civilizations, a golden pattern woven through temples, gardens, and the human body itself. It whispers the same truth in different languages. Life thrives in balance. The Egyptians called it Mat, the law of harmony that kept the cosmos aligned. In Japan, this same principle became Wa, a devotion to simplicity, stillness, the quiet order of things. Though separated by continents and centuries, these two cultures understood something the modern world has almost forgotten. The key to longevity is not speed or strength. It is rhythm, the rhythm of movement, of breath, of consciousness flowing through the vessel of the body. Thoth's teachings, once inscribed on emerald, were never meant to stay in stone. They were frequencies, living knowledge meant to travel through time, carried not by words but by practice. That practice found fertile ground in Japan. To the Egyptians, Thoth's wisdom was the architecture of existence. He taught that the body is not a container for the soul. It is its instrument. Every organ, every joint, every breath is a note in the grand symphony of being. When one note falls out of tune, the melody wavers, aging begins. The Japanese never worshipped Thoth by name, yet they lived by his law. They mastered the art of moving in harmony with life's current. While much of the modern world chased strength through strain, muscles through exhaustion, progress through competition, Japan preserved the sacred art of fluidity. Strength was not force, it was grace. To move effortlessly was power. to breathe without resistance, to bend without breaking, to live without rushing. That was wisdom in motion. Every morning at sunrise, millions gather in parks, schools, courtyards. A familiar melody flows through. The air, gentle, rhythmic, timeless. This is Radio Teso, a 3-minute ritual broadcast across the nation since 1928. Children, elders, workers, all move together. Their gestures synchronized like waves returning to shore. At first glance, it looks ordinary: arm circles, side bends, light squats. Yet this simple sequence is not random. It is the living expression of Thoth's first law: energy must move freely, or it begins to decay. The body, much like an ancient instrument, needs daily tuning. Without motion, the joints dry, circulation dulls, the electrical current that animates the body weakens. The rhythmic stretches of Radio Teso restore this current. They awaken the fluid that nourishes the joints, oxygenate the muscles, awaken the brain's sensory maps. Modern science now confirms what Thoth knew, what the Japanese never forgot: movement with intention and rhythm renews life. It activates the parasympathetic nervous system, the body's natural mode of rest and repair. It lowers cortisol, the hormone that corrodes cells. It increases the flow of nitric oxide, restoring circulation and renewal. The Japanese do not call it anti-aging, they call it ikigai, a reason to live, the purpose that wakes you gently each morning. In this practice, they unite science and spirit without naming either. Thoth, this was the essence of Mot, truth through alignment. When the body moves consciously, it mirrors the harmony of the cosmos. Each breath becomes a bridge between the finite and the infinite. In that bridge, time itself softens. How this wisdom survived is its own mystery. The code of the Emerald Tablets found its reflection in the Japanese dawn, not through trade or translation, but through resonance. When truth is universal, it returns wherever consciousness matures. When people live in rhythm with nature, the same knowledge emerges again and again, as if written into the body's own design. That is why the centenarians of Japan, the people of Okinawa, Kyutango, Nagano, live with such vitality. They move in the rhythm of Wa. Their days unfold through small sacred rituals. They bow before eating. They walk slowly after each meal. They treat movement as meditation. Their bodies stay supple, their minds clear, their spirits calm. What the West calls longevity secrets, they call life. Here the ancient and the modern meet. Neuroscientists at Kyoto University found that morning movements synchronized with breath awaken regions of the brain responsible for memory and creativity. The hippocampus, the first to fade with age, shows renewed activity after only minutes of rhythmic motion. This is not mysticism. It is biology in harmony. Conscious movement sends waves through the nervous system, recalibrating balance, releasing hormones that restore vitality. The brain grows younger through awareness. The Egyptians described this as vibration, each organ resonating with its own tone. When frequencies fall out of rhythm, disease follows. Through movement and breath, they believed one could retune the instrument of the body. Science calls it entrainment, the synchronization of biological rhythms. Thoth called it cosmic order. Japan calls it Wa, all names for one truth. Healing is harmony restored. Harmony begins not with intensity but with awareness. The Japanese elders are not pushing limits. They are listening to how joints whisper when they move, how breath changes when arms lift, how the body speaks when given space. They move slowly, yet their energy is vast. It is not what they do, it is how they do it. The intention behind the movement carries the power. Thoth once wrote that the body is the vehicle of mind, and mind is the architect of form. When movement becomes mindful, the architect awakens. The body no longer decays unconsciously, it rebuilds itself deliberately. What began as Thoth's secret carved in emerald has returned as a 3-minute dance at dawn. The frequency is unchanged, only the form has shifted. These first 3 rituals, the balance of the sage, the rising from the earth, the morning dance of renewal, are not just exercises, they are keys. Each opens a layer of the body's awareness. Each restores a dialogue the modern world has forgotten. The body speaks through sensation. The moment you move with awareness, you begin to hear it again. Balance teaches stillness. The floor teaches humility. The dance teaches joy. Together they form the foundation of youth. Not eternal youth, but living youth. The quiet glow of one who moves in rhythm with life. And this is only half the code. Beyond the visible movements lie the inner ones. Breath, awareness, intention, they complete. The work Thoth began. They turn the body into an antenna for the life force itself. In the next chapter, we will explore them. The ancient walking meditation, the posture of grounding, the subtle twist that awakens the mind. Movements so simple you can do them anywhere, yet so powerful they reshape how the body feels time. But before continuing, remember this: you do not need temples. You do not need youth. You only need willingness. The secret that Thoth and the centenarians share is not mystical. It is practical. Move each day. Move consciously. Move in rhythm with breath and life. This and time itself will begin to move differently around you. With the foundations of balance, mobility, and morning renewal established, we now arrive at the most potent segment of Thoth's ancient code, the 3 rituals that unlock longevity, vitality, mental clarity. These are the movements that Japanese centenarians practice daily, the culmination of millennia of wisdom, the keys to restoring the body's natural harmony. The first is Sampo, the art of mindful walking. At first glance, it appears simple. You walk, as humans have done forever. Yet Sampo transforms walking into meditation, a conscious dialogue with the ground beneath your feet. Each step is intentional. Inhale for 2 steps, hold for 2, exhale for 4. The foot touches from heel to toe, sending signals through muscles, joints, balance systems. Sampo is more than motion. It recalibrates the cardiovascular system, strengthens the legs and core, gently massages internal organs. Studies from Kyoto University show that practitioners have a 62% reduction in arterial stiffness, a major factor in cardiovascular aging. But the benefit extends beyond the body. Mindful walking quiets thought, lowers cortisol, fosters presence. Each step becomes renewal of body and mind. Next comes the deep squat rest, a posture natural yet forgotten in modern life. In a world ruled by chairs and couches, humans have lost the habit of squatting fully. The Japanese never did. Sitting low with heels grounded, back straight, weight evenly balanced. The deep squat decompresses the spine, opens the hips, strengthens the pelvic floor, stimulates joint lubrication. Biomechanically, it is a marvel. It restores mobility in places long dormant from sitting. The ability to hold this posture even briefly predicts not only longevity but independence. Research shows that older adults who can maintain a deep squat are far less likely to need assisted care. This is not just exercise. It is a return to the body's design, a grounding of flesh and mind. The third movement is the towel twist. It seems modest, holding a towel at shoulder height, turning the torso slowly side to side, yet its effect is profound. Tension across shoulders and torso engages deep spinal stabilizers often ignored. More importantly, it coordinates both hemispheres of the brain, enhancing memory, reaction time, neurological strength. A 20-year study in Japan revealed that those who practiced the towel twist daily lived longer, 7 years on average, with sharper minds and stronger bodies. It is Thoth's principle made visible. The body and mind are one. Move consciously and the neurons awaken. The circulation deepens. The communication of life restores itself. You may wonder why such simple movements hold such power. The reason lies in physiology, not mysticism. Each ritual speaks directly to the nervous system, the endocrine system, the musculoskeletal network. The sage's balance builds new neural pathways. The floor transitions restore functional strength. Radio-taso balances hormones. Sampo strengthens the heart and posture. The deep squat regenerates the hips and spine. The towel twist integrates the hemispheres and fortifies the core. Together they form a whole. a living system that strengthens from foundation to mind. They are not isolated acts. They are one continuum of awareness designed to preserve clarity, mobility, independence. The genius of Thoth's teaching is not physical alone. Every movement carries intention, rhythm, awareness, conscious breathing, and steady focus transform each ritual into meditation. The centenarians of Japan do not move out of duty. They move to honor life itself. Through this awareness, they awaken the energy the Egyptians called vital force, the subtle current now being measured by modern science, neuroplasticity, and epigenetics confirm what Thoth once whispered. Deliberate movement can activate genes linked to longevity, stimulate the production of brain-derived neurotrophic factor, reduce inflammation, cortisol lowers, blood flow improves, muscle tissue regenerates, the body through these rituals rewires itself for youth. Integration into daily life is simple. Begin the morning with Radio Teso, awaken the joints and muscles. Follow with the sage's balance to steady the mind. Add the towel twist to stimulate the nervous system. During the day, practice the deep squat rest. Use floor transitions whenever possible. End with sampo, turning even a walk into meditation. The key is consistency, not intensity. A few deliberate minutes each day outweigh hours of strain. These movements do more than strengthen. They cultivate resilience, awareness, connection to life. Thoth taught that the body is the vehicle of consciousness. The instrument of being. Move consciously and the instrument awakens. Japanese centenarians embody this truth. They do not simply survive, they thrive, living proof that time can soften, slow, even reverse its effects. Your journey begins now. With the smallest motion, lift one foot in balance, sit and rise from the floor, reach, stretch, twist. Each act sends a signal to your cells. You are alive, capable, worthy of longevity. This is the Thoth code in practice, ancient wisdom made. Rio.to embrace this system. You need no equipment, no diets, no technology, only your body, a few minutes, and the will to move with awareness. Over time, the effect is undeniable. The joints glide, the balance sharpens, the mind brightens, energy returns. The 6 rituals are more than exercise. They are keys to reclaim life itself. They honor the body as sacred instrument, align inner systems, restore the natural rhythm of being, a gift carried across millennia, from the emerald tablets of Thoth to the quiet mornings of Japan. And now to you. It is said that time cannot be turned back. Yet through these practices you reclaim the time modern life has taken. Aging becomes conscious renewal instead of decline. And in that renewal you rediscover the true power of the human body to heal, to adapt, to flourish in grace. At the heart of every culture that has defied time lies a single truth. Longevity is not the resistance of time, it is the refinement of energy. The Egyptians called this energy Ka, the subtle current of life that animates the body and links it to the soul. The Japanese call it Ki, the quiet strength that flows through all living things. Modern science calls it bioelectricity, the measurable language of cells speaking across the body. 3 names for one mystery. 3 perspectives on the same silent power that decides whether the body decays or regenerates. Thoth taught that the body is not closed. It is a receiver and transmitter of the infinite. When breath, movement, and thought align, the human being becomes a conduit for the cosmic current. When that rhythm falters, the current weakens. Cells lose communication. The heart and brain fall out of sync. The body's intelligence begins to fade. This is why the 6 rituals were never only physical. They are ways of tuning the field of life that surrounds and fills you. The Japanese centenarians who preserved this wisdom understand this without words. They wake, stretch, walk, breathe, move, not to look young but to stay connected to the current of life. The light in their eyes is not cosmetic, it is electrical. Science now confirms this. The heart emits a magnetic field that extends beyond the body. When movement, breath, and emotion become coherent, the field organizes, cells communicate with clarity, DNA repair accelerates, incoherence creates static, systems fall apart. Thoth called this the law of vibration. To live in harmony with this law, you must move energy consciously. This is where the 6 rituals become alchemy. Each one channels energy through a different current of the nervous and endocrine systems. The sage's balance awakens circuits of perception and focus. It trains the mind to stay alert yet calm. The floor transition activates the spinal pillar, the bridge between earth and sky. The radio tasso opens the joints, circulates fluid, sends tiny electrical signals that keep the body alive. The Sampo walking meditation synchronizes breath and heartbeat. It connects the body to the rhythm of the earth. The deep squat grounds that current through hips and legs, stabilizing the system. The towel twist unites intellect and intuition, left and right, logic and flow. Together they form a full circuit. Energy rises through the spine, circulates through the limbs, settles in the heart. The body becomes a flowing current of life. Aging is only the slowing of that current. Renewal is its return. This is why the centenarians of Japan move with such lightness. Their gait is soft, their eyes calm. They are not racing time. They have mastered rhythm. Each gesture sends a message to the cells. We are still in motion. We are still alive. This message can be sent at any age. The nervous system remains alive until the final day. Neurons adapt, muscles listen. The key is attention. When you practice the 6 rituals, do it like playing an instrument. Feel each subtle change in balance, each breath expanding, each warmth. In the joints, these sensations are proof that the system is waking again. Consider the study from Fukuoka University. Balance on one leg predicted longevity better than blood pressure. Why? Because balance engages the entire network of the body. It measures coherence. When the body finds its center, the mind follows. Disorder in one reflects disorder in the other. Or think of the towel twist. The gentle turn of the spine awakens communication between brain hemispheres. Science now shows that this integration strengthens the neural bridge of awareness. The act of twisting with soft eyes and steady breath is literally building a younger brain. Thoth would not have spoken of neurons. He would have spoken of light. The mind is the sculptor of form. When consciousness becomes deliberate, the body reshapes itself. In modern language, this is epigenetics. Thought and emotion determine which genes awaken. Stress turns on inflammation. Calm awareness turns on repair. The rituals of Thoth are messages to your genes written through movement. Yet the modern world moves in the opposite rhythm. Endless sitting, screens, noise, shallow breath. All fragment the current. Energy that once flowed becomes chaotic. The system remains trapped in survival. Renewal fades. To reverse this, you do not need complexity. You need rhythm. Begin the morning. Without a screen, begin with motion. A few minutes of radio tasso, a moment of balance. A short mindful walk. These small acts build coherence. They align you with the rhythm that has always been. This rhythm extends beyond motion. It reaches into how you eat, how you rest, how you think. Thoth taught that nourishment should be rhythmic. Sleep should follow the sun. Thought should be purified through reflection. Japan preserves the same wisdom through quiet meals, through eating until 80% full, through tea, silence, stillness. These are not acts of restraint. They are acts of resonance. When body, breath, and awareness move as one, the mind quiets. Time feels different, no longer an enemy, but a tide. The Egyptians drew it as a serpent, devouring its own tail, the Ouroboros, the endless renewal. The Japanese drew it as the open circle of Zen, the ENSO, one stroke, one breath. Both symbols reveal the same truth. Life is not linear, it is rhythmic. The 6 rituals restore that rhythm. They do not deny age, they refine it, they turn each passing year into deeper harmony. The goal is not eternal youth. The goal is to remain fully alive at every age. And so the practice continues, breath by breath, step by step, twist by twist, until effort becomes instinct, until the body and mind move together. This is rejuvenation, not escape from time, but union with it. Tomorrow morning, stand still before the rush begins. Feel the air move in and out. Lift one leg. Find your balance. Lower yourself gently. Rise again. Twist. Stretch. Walk a few slow steps. Let the rhythm carry you. Each motion, each breath, each heartbeat is a dialogue with the same intelligence that Thoth wrote of, the same rhythm that lives in the centenarians of Japan. You are not performing exercises. You are remembering an ancient conversation, one that whispers. Across every age and every language, life renews itself through harmony. Aging is not the enemy. Forget what you have been told. Aging is only the story the body writes when it forgets the rhythm of life. The 6 rituals you have learned, from balance to breath, from stillness to motion, are the language that rewrites. That story, they remind the body how to speak the dialect of vitality again, and that is where the quiet magic begins. For thousands of years, humanity has chased immortality as if it were hidden in distant lands, yet the ancients, from the sages of Egypt to the elders of Japan, knew a softer truth. Immortality was never about living forever. It was about living fully, so completely aligned with the present that time itself bends around you. When you move with awareness, eat with gratitude, and breathe with rhythm, you are already defying age in the only way that matters. Science now explains what wisdom once whispered. Each ritual acts as a switch within the body, turning off decay, turning on renewal. The sage's balance trains the brain to remain alert and flexible. The floor transition awakens the stabilizers that guard independence. Radio Teso restores lubrication and harmony. Sampo walking renews the heart. The deep squat restores the spine and hips. The towel twist builds connection between both sides of the mind. Together they form a quiet symphony within you, a dialogue between cells and consciousness. Each deliberate motion, each breath taken with care, is a message to your biology. We are alive, we are evolving, we are young in spirit. Here, Thoth's ancient teaching meets modern science. The study of mind and immunity reveals that consciousness does not live only in the skull, it radiates through. Every organ, every thought and intention becomes an electrical signal. Every motion sends information through the field of the body. When the signals align, health grows. When they scatter, the system weakens. The 6 rituals restore order. They bring harmony where there was noise. That harmony is what the Egyptians called Mot, the balance that sustains all life. You can feel this balance as you move. Standing on one leg trains focus. Rising from the floor restores humility. The gentle stretch of Radio Teso awakens grace. The mindful walk reconnects you to the pulse beneath your feet. The deep squat grounds you. The towel twist weaves everything together. These are not workouts, they are prayers in motion. The Japanese understood this. For them, movement was not performance, it was presence. Their mornings begin with ritual, not rush. The air carries gratitude, not competition. This rhythm repeated each day builds a strength that cannot be measured by force. It is what Thoth meant when he said that man becomes what he remembers himself to be. If you remember stillness, the body becomes still. If you remember vitality, the body becomes light, but knowing is not becoming. Knowledge alone changes nothing. Transformation begins the moment you move, when wisdom enters the muscle, when the mind becomes embodied. That is when the truth becomes real. Begin simply with presence. Choose one ritual today. Stand on one leg for 1 minute, or lower into a squat and breathe, or walk with awareness for a few minutes without distraction. The rest will unfold. The body loves rhythm. Once given a pattern, it begins to crave it. Soon the ritual becomes instinct. When the morning becomes movement, when the breath becomes awareness, when the body becomes harmony, you begin to understand what Thoth meant by reversing time. It is not the turning back of the clock, it is the step beyond it. Inside a coherent body, time loses weight. Hours feel light, days flow easily, energy stays constant. The Japanese call this shibumi, effortless perfection, quiet beauty. To live with shibumi is to age as a mountain ages, with grace, with silence, with strength. And so the circle closes. from the emerald tablets to the islands of Japan, from the temple to the home, from ancient wisdom to modern science. The message remains the same. You are the alchemist. The power to renew life rests already within you. The 6 rituals are the key. The rest is your choice. Tomorrow morning stands still before the day begins. Feel the weight of your body. Breathe deeply. Move with intention. For a few minutes, honor the miracle of being alive. That is all Thoth ever asked of his students. Awareness through action. Now it is your turn. If these words stirred something within you, do not let it fade into routine. Begin now. Choose rhythm over rush. Choose harmony over haste. Choose life. Write these words for yourself. I move with the rhythm of life. When you say it, you are not making a claim. You are setting a direction. You are choosing vitality. You are choosing to live agelessly. And before you go forward, know this: the journey continues. There is a deeper path that connects movement, consciousness, regeneration. Step into it. Explore how these 6 rituals can become a lifelong practice of renewal. You have been given the code. Now live it.